See, it's Wednesday, April 24th, and 7 a.m. on the West Coast. I'm tired, but it's nice to start the day with a trade that just works right away. Saggy, welcome back. Haven't seen you for a while. Good evening. Good evening to you. Morning for me. So yeah, I'm just getting myself together here. I already took a trade today. Saggy, you've been gone for a little bit, so I don't know if you know, but I'm taking a trade at the New York Open every day now. And I have not lost with it yet. This ALP Alp Orb, is the trade for the New York Open that I'm taking. I'm 11-0 now with it. 11 days in a row I've won. So I come in before the stream and I take that one trade and then still start the stream at 7 for now. All right, let me see here. Just sorting things out. All right. So yeah, I took the open trade, and this one was a little bit unusual because price was just working its way up as it was approaching the 9:30 Eastern Open. So this is kind of the whole session, what it looked like. And really, I mean, this was pretty easy. It was just going with the momentum, really, heading into the Open. So I was in and out before I knew it. The only thing I wanted to make sure was I was entering above this candle and enough outside of it that if it goes, I had enough confidence it would, have room to the highs. So pretty easy play. And now going back to my usual strategy. For anyone that's been checking me out, you know that I just look for charts where every second entry is working for my profit target. So I've got 4 charts, and they're all, no losses so far. So I'm just going to turn off my screen real quick just to switch the account that the chart's following, so I don't show my full name here from my live account. All right. So yesterday I made a mistake after taking my opening trade where I didn't set this back up correctly and I didn't have my Replicanto copier with the correct leader account, because I trade off of the sim account and copy trade to my Apex accounts. So today I've made sure I've done it. I'll even just put an order in and the PA account comes up. So I know I'm good. And I'm going to trade PA7 next with just one contract if I see an entry. Saggy says, according to that, 11.0 Alpine is killing the market. Yeah. Saggy, you haven't been around, but I talk about Alpine all the time, and I've been following him for a long time, and it's changed a lot of the ways I'm doing things. But he's been taking this one trade at the New York Open for a long time, and at least 3/4 of his profits are coming from that one single trade in the morning. and him copying across, 15 to 20 accounts. And so a couple weeks ago, I just decided I need to consider taking that trade and figuring out if I can do it. He doesn't really show it entirely, but he shows enough that it was, I think, pretty easy for me to figure out what he was doing there. And so I just did a night where I started doing a bunch of back testing, and I was like, forget the exact number, but I was like, 28-1 or something like that. So then I decided to get this account 36. And that reminds me, let's update days traded. So this account 36 is the one I got specifically to take the trade on. And I had a code for a free evaluation. So I got this evaluation for free, and I said, I'll just trade it on that. No skin in the game. If I can't make it work, if I blow up the account, whatever, it won't matter. It was free. So now I've traded 11 days on it, and this account is only trading that one trade. And I've already made nearly $2,500 in the 11 days. And then, so once I did that, then I went back and did more testing. I lost one more time, but I was like 70 something and 2 at that point, like 78 and 2, or I forget what the numbers were, but it was massive. And so then I traded again on this, and then I started adding accounts as I kept winning. So now I've done it 11 days in a row, and they've all won. So let's see. This will be 12 days. This will be 8 days. Did I already change this? No, I forget. I don't think I changed this yet. 32 days. So it's pretty great for me taking that trade and now having the confidence. I mean, my win rate's so high that I can copy trade it to multiple accounts. And then now, I only have 3 more accounts that are active currently that I can trade with today on my usual system. So that just makes the rest of the day so much easier for me. It's almost, I know there'll be a loss on that trade eventually. That trade is, nothing is 100%. But 11-0, and I know I can go on a really long streak before the loss comes. My data from backtesting and the trades I'm taking on it says that I could be 98 out of 100. So that's a whole lot of winning days in a row before you end up with a loss, which, most of the time should carry me to a payout and passing evaluations and whatnot. So we'll see how it goes. In the meantime, the thing that's great though is, so I could come in the morning, really trust that trade, take it on the majority of my accounts, and then still have a few accounts that I don't trade just in case that trade goes wrong, where, it's not like I have to completely start over if I do it on all my accounts and have to, blow up and start over from scratch. And so I have other accounts, and if something were to go wrong one day, then I just continue on with the other accounts. But on days like today, where I get the win, 11 days in a row now, then now I have less pressure to trade. Obviously I want to build PA7 back. I want to work towards a payout on PA8, and I'd like to pass evaluation 29 as well. But there's no pressure to take trades, and I can just kind of have a nice, easy, mellow day, take the trades as they come, as I like them. And actually, this was a trade right here. I wasn't paying attention. Well, that's the thing. It's like that's not even going to bother me because I'm already happy with the day, and anything further is the cherry on top. So. It's kind of a weird week because I've only got 3 trades off from the opening trade for the week. I should have had 1 trade for my BS system, but I messed it up yesterday and only took it on Sim. So Oh, wow, this was nice on this chart. All right, so I need to do a better job trying to focus on my strategy now, because this was definitely a trade I could have taken on. This chart, definitely this chart, I like it even better. It was good on this chart too. So 3 charts, and I wasn't looking. So I'm not going to go on any more crazy rants like yesterday today. I think I said it all yesterday. No reason to revisit the subject matter. I saw that the girl I was talking about yesterday teamed up with the guy that apparently Alpine showed the trade to, who's now streaming it live. So I guess they're teaming up to, be the anti-Alpines out there in the world. And see that Alpine is now streaming live in the morning during the New York Open, and he's just not showing where he puts his entries on the chart. I think that's smart. I think that's the way to go for him. He's got 17,000 viewers, and if they all know his exact order entries, then you got potentially 17,000 people with 20 accounts each on Apex, all trying to break the bank, and that would maybe give Apex a reason to do something about the trade. But otherwise, if he's not showing it, then everyone's just kind of doing their own thing. So some people win and some people lose just because people do different things. Saggy, how's your trading going so far? Is today the first actual day of trading that you're back? Today's your first day back after a long time. Any trades so far? Or did you just get started like me? I think you say you start around the same time as me, if I remember. Good luck today, though. Hope you have a really good trading day. It looks like people finally got their payouts today from Apex. It seems like this last payout period was the longest delay that people have seen for payouts. And there are a whole lot of people getting concerned about it. It looks like everyone's reporting that they got their payouts today. So it was delayed, but it happened. Everyone freaks out every time there's a delay in payment. They think there's something wrong with Apex, and they're not going to get their money. And as far as I could tell, this seems like it was the biggest delay that I've ever noticed, where like a large group of people were reporting it all over the place. Saggy says, watching markets. Today I'm going to play small to gain confidence. Yeah, good idea. Good idea. It's always good to just kind of like get a little warm-up session in, get back into the swing of things. Yeah, it's funny. Sagi says last week was zero loss, right? Yes, last week was an amazing week for me. It was my best trading week I've ever had. 17 wins, no losses, which was nice to have coming off of, when I lost that PA number 2 that got so close to a payout, to follow up from losing that account, and having a week like that was really, really great. I think I've been struggling, I think ever since you joined me, Sagi, you saw me struggling with like, how much do I take every entry without applying any of my own subjective analysis to it versus how much subjective analysis do I apply, that like how many times do I, or when and where do I skip trades? What are the reasons why I skip trades? I think in the last, really, I mean, it was happening even before I lost that PA, because the day I lost that PA, I was 7-1 for that day. So I was 17-0 last week. I'm 3-0 this week. So that's 20-0. I'm on a 20 win streak right now. But also, the day that I lost that PA, I was 7-1 that day. I don't remember. I think I lost the PA. That was maybe the first trade of the day or something. So if you put it all together, for the last 28 trades, I'm now 27-1. If my math is any good. So I feel like I've finally found a better balance. Like, I know what my objective rules are to stay out of trades at this point. I've set some pretty defined reasons to not take a trade. And then there's like a certain smaller amount of like trusting my intuition and reading the market and the price action. And there's just certain times where I know better than to take a trade. And even though my chart is like, has no losses yet, it doesn't mean that it can't be the first loss right now. I'm going to take a trade that doesn't fit with what I think the market's trying to do, So I think I'm finding a better balance between, how I skip rules, or how I skip trades, when I skip them, when I don't, like just picking my spots. And I think part of it also is having this opening trade. Now it takes the pressure off, like I said, of taking trades. So now I don't feel so like, I see a setup. I don't feel like, oh man, well, I got to take it because if I skip this one, whatever. So, but we'll see. I'm just going to try to keep it going. Just try to, just be smart about the way I'm trading. And, quite frankly, the Alpine orb trade is working so good for me that if I'm taking less trades on my regular system, but they're winning trades, that's fine. I've always been so concerned about getting enough trades every week to be able to trade all the accounts. But now I trust the open trade so much that I can, you can see I'm copy trading 4 accounts on the one single trade. And it's just literally because it's the difference of a trade where I see that when I take it in back testing and forward testing or live trading, I'm 98% with it versus my usual BS system, I'm 80%. So the 80% system, I'm only going to trade 1 account at a time. And the 98% trade, I'm going to do more accounts. So I'm really starting to get a sense of why Alpine has been doing what he's been doing as well. I mean, I'm getting a small taste of it so far. So we'll see how it goes. I'm now, let's see, 670 away from a payout, smaller payout, but on the 25K account. And this account, I've only taken the opening trade on it. I haven't taken any of my BS system trades. Just over $500 away from passing in 11 days. And in 34, 33, and 29 has been a combo of the open trade as well as the BS system. So I've been mixing it up, and those are all getting reasonably close here too. 500 away from passing, 650 away basically, and another 360 away on that one. So looking good. Just trying to stay within what's working for me. I also have to remind myself, Monday was a very limited trading day for me. I was in for the open trade, and then my wife was sick, so I had to get my daughter up and ready for school, take her to school. I missed out on like an hour and a half of like my window that I trade in. And yesterday she wanted me in the morning as well, to help get her up and get her ready. So I missed a good chunk of time there, even though I didn't have to drive her to school. And then we'll see what happens today. So this week, only the 3 trades so far, but I've also had limited time across those days. Also, I was just on one yesterday about, there's just so much drama with this opening trade that yesterday I was just on one talking about everything. So I think the way the market conditions were yesterday, I wasn't even really looking to trade yesterday. So we have a measured move, potentially. The thing I don't like about this is there's just like such a clear level of support here for shorts. Saggy says, first I should lose my weight to be focused. You were eating a lot on your vacation? Is that why? So I don't know, there's like a sense of like, what some people look at as head and shoulders situation here. All right, it looks like it's pushing up. See what this closes. So nothing there for me there in this chart. See where this closes. All right, so if this triggers, it'll be underneath the opening price, which this is kind of one of those situations. It closes above the opening price, but the trigger would be below it. This is where I'm currently just going to be skipping trades. I think this is probably good if it triggers below the opening price, below this candle. I would think it's going to work, but this is kind of a gray area for me these days. I think I watched this work every single time until the one time I took it, it lost. And so it's that getting that loss that one time just makes me hesitant again, taking the trades in these situations. But I have an expectation, I think I drew it on the other chart, of the measured move down. So I think that's maybe where it's going. But it's a mixed bag because I also see the support. I guess there's room for my scalp I'm not going to take this. Right. There you go. It would have worked for my scalp. So I do have a rule with this, with the BS system, that I don't like to trade into levels like the opening price, which is this white dashed line. So the fact that going short basically right into it, this candle closed above it, and then the entry would be below it. It makes it kind of a gray zone. Like if this candle, if the wick was right above it, right above the white dashed line, then that would be a definite no trade. But these situations where the candle closes above it, but the wick is below it, so that if it triggers below, it would be below the open and priced, the white dashed line. I've seen it work many times, but of course, after watching it work many times, the last time I tried to take a trade like this, it didn't work. So that's the only reason I stayed out of that. But if I continue to see them work just so often, then it's going to be hard to not take these trades. It's a lot easier when the candle is just completely above the level, and then I know I can't trade into it. And that's kind of a thing. A lot of people, I don't see a lot of people taking these levels into consideration, like the open or the previous day close, and I just find those levels to be really important in my trading. So you can see here too, it's like this thing's not like flushing down or anything. It's like struggling to move here. I think that's just because there is this level of support here. That it's gonna have to break through all this. So, just kind of a tight area to be taking a trade. And I don't know. So I'm just going to stay patient and just wait for a setup I like. This is probably the trade. But I don't like how all these bars are stacked up. It's the same thing. I mean, this is the level, right? It's just, the level doesn't look like it's here on this chart. The level looks like it's here. So it looks like there's room on this chart. But when these bars are stacking up like this, and I'm seeing another chart that looks like this, I'm not wanting to take this trade either. I think that's the benefit, again, of looking at multiple tick charts at the same time. Like I'll trade off of any of them, and if I like an entry on one and not the other, I'll take it on the one I like it better. But when you're seeing reasons to like not take a trade already, and then you go to a chart like this, it's just safer. I find it safer to just move on to the next one for myself. These are the kinds of trades I used to feel like, oh, I have to get it. Like I missed the other one. I didn't take it. It worked. Now I have to take this one. And then this one, inevitably, when I would do that and feel that way, I would get stopped out. So we'll see what happens here. I do think this will work, I would say, by the way. I think it will. Just because I'm thinking that measured move. And the thing I like on this one better is there's a clearly well-defined close of the candle below the opening price. So it's not like trading into the opening price here. The only thing it is it's trading, into that support level. Look at that. You could see it on this one. I mean, the bottom of this is like bouncing right off of that support level on this chart. And that level is not clear on this chart. So it's interesting. So you got to bounce. And this is why I'm just staying out of this, because it's not clear to me what's going to do. I mean, if it comes up short of the measured move, then this thing is going higher. That's what I would think. Didn't look at the daily yet. Look at that. The daily has a gap up. Yeah. You can actually see the gap, which doesn't happen often, where you can actually see the gap. To me, yeah, this is the previous day high, that yellow line. It's lined up with the current day session low, but the real gap is to the previous day close, which is all the way down here. And the fact that it hasn't closed the previous day gap yet, and it's already past 7:30 or 10:30 Eastern, actually a lot of times means it's not going to close the gap, or at least not right now. So it's entirely possible this thing goes higher still. It's entirely possible it goes lower. I really have no read right now. So that's why I'm chilling. The only read I have is there's an expectation I would have for this measured move, but it doesn't mean it has to get there. Let's see. How's everybody doing today with their trading so far? All right, here it's making the move. Looks like it's about to work for what the scalp would have been. Yeah, that would have done it. So it ultimately works. Would have given, pretty decent pullback to make you worried, and held and ended up working. So these are the kinds of situations it's like I just kind of file these in my memory bank so that in the future I can decide if I'm being more aggressive, whether I want to take these trades or not in these situations. But for now, not much of a reason for me to feel like I need to be aggressive and take kind of the riskier setups for my system. So here, first entry, the next time it ticks above, it'll be a second entry. And now we're on the other side of the open. So I wouldn't take a long into this. I'm not taking longs into EMA anymore. So this is just, like we've been going sideways for a little bit here, and this is just an area, like there's not going to be any trade for me in this area with no room. All right, so here we're getting the push to the measured move potentially. It's holding. So here's an example again. This could be a second entry right above this bar, but it'll be going right into the open with not a lot of room. So I can't take anything here. Technically there's enough room. I see the strong support, but I can't take this trade right into that level if it triggers. And it looks like it's going to set up potentially on this chart too. So we'll see if this even gets triggered. The same situation on this chart. So far it's looking like it's not going to get triggered. So I think this is a good example where I know, like, no matter what, if a trade gets triggered in this area, I'm not going to take the trade. And there was a point in my journey not too long ago where I was taking these trades no matter what, if they triggered. And these were the areas where I was picking up losses. So I think that's like a big contributor to why I haven't been getting the losses that I was getting. Especially like an example like last week where I was 17-0. It's just having these like really defined areas where I know there's just absolutely not going to be a trade for me no matter what happens, whether it works or not, no matter how much I like it. You know, if I were to say like, oh, I really like this support, and if it triggered, like I just want to take it because the support's so strong. It's just not a trade I can take, win or lose. And I think that's really been helping me recently, just being really secure in that rule for myself. Right. I mean, after all this, it seems like it really wants to trigger this. It's here too. It's on 3 charts. So if all 3 of these charts do trigger and it doesn't work, then I'm going to be losing 3 charts at the same time. On this chart, it actually already triggered because this bar went above this bar. So this trade is already, this setup's already triggered on this chart. The other 3 charts, they haven't triggered yet. So if this goes down now, then I'll lose 1 chart, but not 3. So look, yeah, but look, it closed right on that line. Interesting. But yeah, this is going the other way. Seemingly not going to trigger, which means that this chart's going to be a no good chart for me anymore. Saggy says today charts are not good. They're not good for you. You're not feeling it. You know how I do it. If my charts aren't good for me, then there's just no trades. You know. I actually like my charts today. Just I missed the one trade I would have liked to take up here, and then since then, just nothing has been anywhere near in a good spot for me to take a trade. But it's still early. This thing just doesn't want to give up the bag. So let's see. I mean, this thing can still trigger up here if it wants to push its way back up. Right, here it goes. So this will be a bad entry on this chart. Doesn't look good, obviously, either, but it looks like it's not going to work. And I'll put this chart to the side. There it goes. Okay. So this chart goes off to the side for me. I'll not be trading that anymore. So let's see here. So I like that situation better, where at least only one of the 4 charts goes bad and not all 3 of them at the same time. Yeah, I mean, this trade was probably a good trade, although I wouldn't have loved being in it. I wouldn't have felt great being in it, but it would have worked. And, the read of the measured move seems to be the right read. All right, so we basically got our measured move. If this triggers here, I guess it's not a bad spot. It's basically the measured move. I just realized I have my OCO order on still. All right, if this doesn't trigger here, I might take my order off and see where it might set up next. All right, I'm just gonna cancel that and see what happens here. Looking at this chart, it looks like this actually, did this tick above 29? I didn't even see it, but there's a little teeny wick tick above this. So this chart's actually not good anymore either. Put this chart aside. So I've got two charts. So we'll see what happens here. This account has the least drawdown, 650 in drawdown. So if this triggers and goes against me, we'll just see what happens. All right, that worked pretty fast and easy. All right, so the first trade for the BS system this week. And the second trade of the day. It looks like I got 11 ticks. Yeah, 11 ticks. And the fills were perfect. Perfect entry fill, perfect exit fill. So it's a good sign because I was having issues with the previous version of Replicanto where my entries were getting slippage, but no slippage on this trade. All right. So that was a pretty quick, painless trade for me today. I like that I had plenty of room back to this area that was support before, which would be resistance. So no objective reason to stay out of the trade. I liked that it was right off of the measured move. I mean, a perfect touch off the measured move, basically. Expect enough of a bounce to get at least 11 ticks. And that's really now where I'm finding my favorite setups are just off of like key levels, right? Like whether it's a support resistance area, whether it's an opening price line, or a measured move even. I'm finding these measured moves to be really powerful in my trading. So let's see. 18th day traded on this account and just digging it out of the dirt, $50 at a time. I think a couple more wins and I can start putting it to 2 contracts. I just want to make sure I have enough drawdown, that I don't get taken out of a trade mid-trade by having too many contracts with too low of a drawdown. So let me update the stats here. 2-0 today, 4-0 for the week. My 198th win for the year. I might be getting close to 82% overall. Let me calculate this and see if I'm there yet. It'd be like just barely, maybe. I'm like 0.002% of a percent away from being 81.5%. So if I get one more win, I'll be at 82%, but not quite. Closer to 81 still. All right, so, you know, the way my charts are today, not very exciting trading, but take it where I can get it. My next trade will be on PA8, 50K with full drawdown, full $2,500 drawdown. And, you know, if trades go against me, you know, if this trade were to go against me, you know, my old rule was my stop would go below my signal bar. But that's like I realize that's like a holdover from Mac's PAT system, why I put the stops there. And, with all I've learned since then, I know that I don't need to have the stop there. That's just like an old carryover rule from Pat's system. So I'm not going to be doing that anymore, unless if I get into a trade like this, unless there's no nearby levels where there could be another bounce to be able to add a contract and work out of the trade. So technically that means that every single trade I potentially am putting my account at risk. And that's how I'm going to proceed from now on. But yeah, I'm on a nice little streak. 4-0 for this week, 17-0 last week. So I'm 2 weeks in a row, I'm 21-0 right now. And you put that Friday on it, I'd be 28-1. So I'm on a nice little run. Don't want to jinx it. Still working with 2 charts. I'll just stick with the 2 charts at this point. I guess I could look for a 3rd chart. There's no reason not to. I don't expect a setup soon here. So now we reached the measured move. It still looks like we're selling down. We're approaching the previous day's high. If this thing goes through the previous day's high, which is also the session's low, the yellow line and the red dotted dashed line, then I really think it looks like we're going to close the gap at the dashed blue line. So that'll be interesting. This is the daily chart. So you can see this is really starting to look like a bearish candle. Pin bar. And we had a bounce basically off this level here. So I won't be surprised for like a little back and forth here on the daily candles for the next week. So maybe it's going to be kind of a rangy week. And then I won't be surprised for a retest of the low at some point in the next week or two. We'll see. I'm still just kind of looking around to see if there's any other chart I want to find that looks good to trade off of. I really doubt it though. Yeah, I'm just really not finding any charts. I've just got the two. All right, well, I'm just looking for other charts. My dog's coming in. I'll be back. Well, I'm here, but yeah. All right. Yeah, I'm just really. Oh man, that was a sneeze. Hopefully I muted in time. Don't want to blow out anyone's ears. I was just going to say, yeah, I'm just not seeing any other charts. Unfortunately, today's starting to look like kind of a dud of a day as far as entries for my system, but things change. All right, so now it looks like we are, I mean, we went right through previous day's high. You know, small, teeny little bounce, but, you know, nothing significant. So this does seem like we're on a path to closing the gap. It's happening late, but it's happening, seemingly. So to me, this dash blue line is the next level to look at. This chart's not bad. Let's try this. All right, so I've got 3 charts. So we'll go with these and see what happens. I'm expecting a push to the previous day close. If it doesn't happen, then we're gonna go all the way back to the top. So we'll see which one happens first. So I'm still here watching this thing. There's just, in this kind of market, there's just nothing for me to do with the strategy I'm trading right now. So I'm just being patient and waiting. We're at this kind of key level that's interesting, the previous day high, the yellow line, and we went under it, and now it seems to be working as resistance, but I want to see what happens here. And it definitely has the feel of looking like it wants to close the gap to the previous day close, which is the dashed blue line here at the bottom. So I'm really just waiting for that to happen, and then seeing what price wants to do from there. That's really, to me, that's the target right now. Because we already did a measured move from the top, and I got a trade for a nice little bounce from there. And then this thing just kept going. So that's the next logical stop for me. And look, we've got a new low here. So there's just going to be no entries in this kind of a market for me. So I need it to reach a level where I want to find a bounce and do some kind of correction at the very least. And then depending on whether it's above or below the previous day high, this yellow line, if there's a setup, then we'll see what side I'm on and if it makes sense for me to look for a trade there or not. And on the daily, this is starting to look like a pretty bearish candle. And I definitely, with this move down, expect a retest of this low at some point. I'm not sure when or how long or whatever, but at some point I expect price to get back down here. So yeah, just hanging out and watching. And I think I talked myself out yesterday, so my throat still feels like a little bit raw just from talking so much yesterday. So just keeping it low key. And the future space is just so interesting right now. There's so many people coming from Forex. So there's so many people that are new to the futures world. With Alpine blowing up the way he has in the last few months on his channel, and with his payouts, and just with his with his following, and then all these people popping up. I guess if someone finds me, I look like one of those people that I'm popping up. But I've been doing this since September, been live streaming since February, but I've been showing my journey trading since September, and certainly didn't start this channel or start doing what I'm doing because of Alpine's open trade. It's just something I'm folding into my, whatever you want to call it, my repertoire. And I like the trade. So, but yeah, just really interesting to kind of be in the discords and see what people are saying, and seeing all these other YouTubers that are making their whole thing about the opening trade, at least lately. And then, never really knew that Alpine had beef with anybody, but there's clearly some hard feelings between Alpine and at least one or two other YouTubers. I think he's handling that thing pretty well with this lady that started showing his opening trade, even though she's terrible. She, for anyone that knows who she is, I'm not going to say her name, but, she showed that she took the opening trade yesterday and of course waffled it because she has the entirely wrong outlook on the trade. And it's because she doesn't watch Alpine. She doesn't know what he's about. She doesn't know what his take on trading prop firms is. So she really doesn't understand it at all. And she takes the trade and gets scared and takes herself out of the trade. Didn't even get stopped, just, didn't liquidate her account. She just, on a whim, decided to exit the trade for like a $1,500 loss on her, fake sim account. And that's going to tell you right there that she's not going to be able to pull off the trade because she couldn't even hold the trade on a sim account, right? You can't hold a trade on a sim account. What are you going to do when it's like an account that you paid for on a prop firm that you have an investment in? You're just gonna ditch the trade because you get scared. So she doesn't have what it takes. She should. She showed it yesterday. She doesn't have what it takes, and so she lost the trade. It's the same trade that I was in. Top ticked. She got top ticked in a similar fashion, and she bailed on it. And you see, I didn't bail on it. I also had a reasonable amount of contracts, only trading 2 contracts, had plenty of room. I went and watched the video back. I don't even think I actually hit 1,000 in drawdown. I was less than 1,000 in drawdown, according to what I was saying. So, but for the people doing more contracts, the guy that Alpine showed the trade to that seems to stream it every day, he was in for 5 contracts on that trade yesterday, and he came within like a tick or 2 of getting liquidated on his account. But he's doing his own thing. That's not how Alpine trades the trade. So people go off and they do variations and they make things their own thing, and they're not going to have the high winning rate that he has or what I have, because I'm doing it much more like Alpine as far as the number of contracts and everything. So I've got a lot of room in case the trade goes against me. I wasn't even near being in trouble on that trade yesterday. It could have gone down more than double what it went down, and I could have still worked out the trade. But for this lady and for this other guy, she lost. She took herself out of the trade. That's why you can't learn from her. You can't learn the trade from someone who can't even stay in the trade on a sim account, right? She caused herself a loss that was a win, and but she gave a prime example of why she's not the person to teach the strategy. It's clickbait. She's just trying to get all the newbies that heard about Alpine see that he's making all this money, and he doesn't want to talk about teaching people how to do the trade. So she's filling the void, right? And not doing it well because she's teaching it all wrong. So, all right, that's all I got to say. I'm just gonna keep watching the charts here and see if something sets up, and just patiently waiting. Really happy with the day already. So it's like, if I don't get any more, that's fine. And I think that mentality is helping me. I've got 2 accounts to trade. I'd like to get trades for them. If I see a good setup, I will take the trade, win or lose. And but if I don't see anything I like, then I'm just gonna hang. And if this is where the day ends up, it's a good day for me. So let's see what happens here. All right, so I'm gonna look at my new chart that I found here. Got a new low, got a first entry short. This is an area I want to see what happens here because, you know, it's like it wants to go to the previous day close and close the gap, but if there's going to be a setup to go for that, I want it to be below the previous day high, the yellow line. So I'm going to just see how it sets up here. It doesn't look like there's going to be any setup on my other charts in this area right now. So this is the chart I want to watch and see what happens if there's a rejection here or not. To me, it seems like this is making multiple attempts to get to that previous day close and it wasn't able to do it. So now I want to see if we get back above the previous day high, the yellow line. You can see here, it's the high of the session yesterday. And if it will become support and then not get to the previous day close, which would then, I would think, send the market back to the highs again. But if this gets rejected here, then maybe that'll be the play to go for that previous day close. It might just turn out that the setup won't be good here, but by the time it maybe sets up on one of these charts, maybe it'll be better since these are bigger charts. So just keep my eye on this here. This is kind of the interesting area. If this does set up here, I just want to make sure that there's room to like the bottom of here. If I take an entry, this is kind of like one of those weird, I mean, this has a feeling that it wants to push. So this could be like one of those fake outs, trap people in and to the short side and then just slingshot back up to the highs. So I'll see if this sets up below the previous day high yellow line or above it. It might just come down to right when the candle's closing, so we'll see if I even have time to react. So definitely don't want to take a chance of it being above and getting entered into the trade. Yeah, see, it's pushing up. It really feels like the market is saying it can't make it to the previous day close and it's going to go up. The way this is pushing up now, if there's a setup, you know, if it's like engulfing or something, I won't be able to take it because it's going to be going right into that key level for me. You know, if this just gets rejected here and comes right back down, I'll have to stay out of this trade. this pushes down, I'm not going to be able to take this. Because this will just violate my rule. These are the levels where I won't trade into them, only off of them. Here it comes. It's going to trigger. So yeah, this is just a no trade situation for me. This is the kind of thing like where before, when I was just taking every trade, I would take this, and then if I'd lose it, there'd be a reason, but I was taking every trade. All right, this one already worked for the scalp, so it's one of those things. I'm not surprised that worked, but I also wouldn't have been surprised if it didn't work. So it's just a trade I can't take. Not a high probability setup for my system, and it's probably the reason why I was slipping down to like just 80% when I could have probably a little bit less trades and be at a higher win rate and still be getting a decent volume of trades. So it just is what it is. So since that already triggered and wasn't a trade I could take, I'm just going to take a 2-minute break. I'll be right back. All right, I'm back. Let's see here. See what we got in this chart. There's a potential second entry to the short side setting up here. This is gonna, if it does set up, likely be above the previous day high. So if it stays above here, it won't be an area where I can trade it. But if it comes down below, maybe I'll be able to take that. So just keeping my eye on this now. I kind of suspect it's going to close above the previous day high and be a trade I can't take, but if it slips below here, I'll like the trade. I have a feeling it's going to close above it, and it could trigger a bounce off the previous day high and then go higher, but let's see how it plays out here. I'd like it to drop further because I don't want it to close like right above it or right on it. And hopefully it'll give me time to get in if it's going to close below it. Right on it right now, bouncing. Below. Oh, I missed it. State canceled. What's going on here? I don't know what this is. Cancel, cancel, cancel. So this is showing up on okay, there's no orders open anywhere. I tried to enter that trade. That would have been a beautiful trade, but I hit the button and you can see it just got stuck here. I don't know why I can't get out of this. I'm not really sure what to do. State canceled. Cancel pending. No, that's a cancel. The good thing is it's not showing up as a working order. Really don't know what to do. I'm unsure what I need to do in this situation. So this is definitely going for that previous day close. Just gonna move this. I think I'm gonna disconnect and reconnect. I'm going to turn off my screen here. And I'm going to just disconnect the connection and see if I can get that to go away. Hopefully this doesn't mess anything up. Now I'm trying to disconnect. This says I have one active order. Do I really want to disconnect? But I don't have one active order. Cancel order. Cancel, cancel, cancel. Just, again, I'm canceling. It's not canceling. It says no working orders currently. So turn this off. I'm just going to disconnect. Yes. And reconnect and hope that disappears. Man, that would have been a good trade. Oh, my daughter's here. Hello. All right.
Hello.
So put this back here.
Do you want to play with me with these? Dad, do you want to play with me with these? Oopsie.
Oops. All right, so that made the order disappear, go away.
Dad, do you want to play with me?
Yeah, I want to play with you. 1 second. Okay, so my daughter's here. I'm just gonna play with her before she goes to school.
What are you talking up there?
I'll be right back. All right, so that was too bad. That was like going to be a really good trade. Clearly, I mean, we see how well that worked. Still hasn't completely closed the gap, which I'm surprised, but almost. But I really wanted to be on that trade. I was hoping it wasn't going to engulf, and then when I saw it was going to engulf, I tried to push the button and it was just too late. It happened too fast. And as you saw, it messed up my order here. So that was a close call. And what I'll do is just mark that. I wanted to take it. I tried to take it. Couldn't get in. That's all right. I mean, it would have been great to have that for PA8. And the way it worked, I mean, I probably would have got a pretty nice large scalp. So, but it's just tough in those situations where it's in an area where you're being careful, and then it makes that quick drop like that right at the end of the candle, before the candle closes, and engulfing on top of that. So just very little time to react to get into that trade. Ama. I hope I'm pronouncing it right when I say Ama, but good morning. Welcome. Ama says, didn't have time to trade at all today. How was the orb? Orb was great. Orb worked like so easy and fast. It was kind of a no-brainer. I'm not going to turn my marks on, but market was just moving up right into the open, and this was the open candle, and I had my order like right around here, and it popped up, and I was out well before the peak of this candle. It's in and out in seconds. So it was really, really good, really easy. Are you trading now, or you still can't trade? Just gonna make a note for myself here. I tried to enter and missed it. Mama says, nice, congratulations. No, I'm working. Gotcha. Right, I remember you said that you have to work, so you're hoping you can figure out the open trade so you can just come in, take that trade, and then go to work. Just watching YouTube. Cool. Am I pronouncing it? Is it Ama, or is there another way of saying that? Or is that like some kind of I'm not really sure what your name means. MS66 order. not really sure how to refer to you. I guess you haven't corrected me in the past when I just say Ama. Ama is short for Amador. I gotcha. Hopefully, hopefully I said that right. Amador? Could be Amador or Amador, I think. I'm guessing I'm going with Ama. Well, welcome back anyway. Ama's cool. Okay, cool. So yeah, welcome back. I appreciate you coming by. Today's been kind of like a funny old day. I mean, I've the open was easy. That was like, I didn't even worry or consider where the short side was going to go. I was just concentrated on the long side, and just worked. So easy, so quick. And then for the rest of my day, setups happening not really in areas that I liked. Couldn't take any trades, and then got one here. Just a quick 11-tick scalp on one of my accounts, and then I just tried to take this one, just split second too late getting the order in. That would have been a nice trade for me. Would have got a really nice scalp, but so yeah, it's been kind of a sleepy day because ever since I started the stream, kind of in this area, I guess. It was just really kind of getting stuck at this level here that I marked as kind of support. And then I did get the one trade off of this measured move that I liked. And then it's just been a grind down ever since, And then I was looking for this setup. Happened exactly how I was hoping it would on the trade on this chart, but just happened too fast when the candle closed for me to get into the trade here. So. But it's a good day. I'm 2-0 and 4-0 for the week now. So on the back of last week where I was 17-0 and now I'm 14-0, or if not 14, 4-0. Yeah, just feel like just doing my thing and doing, trading how I want to trade. And, the volume of trades hasn't been here for me this week, but at least the win rate has been holding up. Amma says I like trading measured moves. Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, I find a lot of value in it, especially with the way I'm trading now. They just seem to really work. It's hard to describe, but there seems to consistently always be at least some level of a reaction to those measured moves. So when this entry set up for me, right off of it, a perfect tag. I mean, I drew this thing when price was still up here. And so when it finally hit it and I had an entry, I go for small scalps. So I figured I'd get enough of a bounce, just what I need to be in and out. And it worked really well. So yeah, that's definitely like one of the levels I look for when I'm trading off of some, I like to trade against levels. So that's one of them that I use. Once in a while they don't work, but it definitely seems to make it a higher probability that will work for my strategy. So Amma, have you been following the rest of the drama after the market yesterday and the latest going-ons and the Discord and everything? I think I saw your name in there at some point when I was kind of reviewing what people were talking about yesterday. I didn't really read everything. I just kind of skimmed through, and I was tired, so but yeah, it'll be interesting to see how things continue. Now that Alpine decided to just stream during the opening trade, even though he's not showing his entries or his orders, which I think is a good thing. At least people can see it happen live, experience the trade with him, see the price action, just, and you can hear where his orders are getting triggered and whatnot. You just can't see it visually. but I think it's all good. They're friends again. Who's friends? Oh wait, let me see. I missed. You said yes. Alpine and V kissed and made up. They're friends again. Oh, I didn't realize that. I didn't see that part. Well, I don't know if you've seen this lady. Her latest video where she showed her opening trade yesterday on her sim account that she took a loss on. Yeah, it was like the prime example of why she can't teach Alpine's trade. Yeah. So Alpine is now streaming just before the open, and he doesn't show his orders, but you can see his P&L moving. You can hear when his orders get executed. You can hear when he's in and out of the trade. And I think it's good. I think it's good, that at least his viewership gets to experience the trade, even though they're not seeing it visually. They can see his reaction. They can see the P&L. And it's more than he really did before. So, yeah, failed miserably, right? Yeah, Amma says, K failed miserably, right? So, this is why, this is exactly why she really bothers me, that she's like doing what she's doing with Alpine, the quote unquote Alpine open trade. Right, V reviewed her video. Maybe that's why Alpine called V. Oh, interesting. Okay, I didn't know about all that part. But yeah, that's just her video is a prime example of like why she is the definition of clickbait, right? She caught wind of a strategy. She went and like did a day's worth of research, probably not even a day. She put in maybe, I don't know how much limited time, but very limited, because you could tell she hasn't been watching Alpine. She hasn't been following him for days or weeks or months or anything to know what he's all about and how he trades and why he trades the way he does on his prop accounts. And then she makes all these assumptions, and then she just tries to like have a basic idea of how he's taking that open trade. And then what she did yesterday on her trade is the prime example of how she doesn't understand what Alpine does at all. She stopped herself out of the trade, and the trade went on to work, and even V, who was in that trade, got top ticked like me and was in for 5 contracts. You hold and you either get taken out of the trade when you get liquidated, or in that case, he got really lucky because he was like a tick or two away from getting liquidated on his account, and then it reversed and he ended up winning. But he shows that he's not doing the Alpine trade the way Alpine does it either. He puts his own kind of version to it. So he goes for 15 ticks and he does more contracts. So you go for more contracts, you have less room if it goes against you to survive the trade. And that's why Alpine's win rate is so much higher than his. And also that's why, clickbait, I'm just going to call her clickbait, actually. Clickbait has no clue how to do the trade, because she was on a sim account and got scared and closed the trade and took a loss on a sim account. Like, why wouldn't you just see if the trade works or not? And not take a $1,500 loss. So she has no clue. She has no clue how the trade works. The trade is actually a really high win rate, as I'm experiencing myself. I've now traded it, as you can see, 11 days in a row. I'm 11-0. And that's not including, obviously, all the playback I've done. And, I'm 100% right now, over 2 weeks trading it, 11th day. But also with my playback, I'm 98%. And the reason why it's such a high win rate is because of the way Alpine does it. So lower contracts, room to maneuver. If it goes against you, you could work out of the trade. And the account, the best way to do it is put the account on the line, because more times than not, the trade's going to work out and the account's going to be fine. But you have to be willing to lose it and risk it to take advantage of the high win rate. V gave a good analysis. Yeah, V obviously, well, it's, pretty clear Alpine explained the trade, right? So Alpine gave him the trade and explained it to him, and Alpine's been pretty clear about that. And so Alpine showed V exactly how he trades the trade. V that puts a little twist on it, has changed it. I don't know why. I'm just trying to do it exactly like Alpine. So I don't, a lot of people like to take something that they see works and they think they can make it better. Sometimes when people try to make something better, they just make it worse. Yesterday V almost paid the price for it with a busted account. Literally, I actually, when watching it, I tried to stop it a couple of times to see where it was at the lowest point. And I actually think that maybe it should have been busted and Apex just didn't catch up with the volatility, and it might have hit drawdown, but it just didn't register it, and he survived. But yeah, I think the way he broke it down on her video, was, it was really straightforward, honestly. The trade was really straightforward, and a bunch of us just got top ticked into it. And it's funny because I went back and watched my video, because I record the trade. I just don't put it on YouTube. Again, out of respect to Alpine. But I watched the recording of my trade, and I actually had I had my order ready 2 ticks higher, and then right as the market was about to open, I moved it 2 ticks lower. So if I had left it where I initially put it, I wouldn't have been triggered into the long, and I would have been on the short and won, much quicker. But it all works out because I was able to add a contract, and I actually made more yesterday than I would have made if I was in on the short. So. But yeah, clickbait just, that's the problem too. So now, just like you, Alma, I know you've come over from Forex, and a lot of people are coming from Forex right now into the future space. And everyone, the obvious thing to do is go to YouTube and look for people trading futures and figure out what the best way to trade it is. And Amma says supposedly V is showing the orb live. I don't know. Yeah, I found where V is doing that, and yeah, that is happening. I've seen it, and shows the orders and everything, which is fine. As we can see, he's playing it different than Alpine. So it's really not Alpine's exact trade. No, it's on YouTube. It's on YouTube. I don't want to say it. I don't want to give publicity to that, but it's on YouTube. If we're talking about the same person. Yeah, we have to be talking about the same person. V, there's only one V. Yeah, I don't want to say it. Alma agrees. Don't say it. Yeah. I don't have a big viewership, so it doesn't really matter. Yeah, I didn't see the makeup. I saw some posts that Alpine was posting in the Discord yesterday showing some messages between them back last year when Alpine, when V was asking for help and Alpine was saying he would help him. So I didn't see what happened after that they made up or Alpine called him. I haven't looked at all today. So if that happened this morning or something, I'm not caught up. Need a YouTube channel that just talks about what the drama is of the day in the space and catches everyone up. So we know who we're talking about. Yeah, V is okay. I think it's fine to say V, and we both know who we're talking about. So yeah, I think the way that V explains it is pretty good. Like it's kind of very similar to how I look at it. I mean, obviously, I'm not inside Alpine's head, so I don't know. I don't even know exactly how Alpine decides where he ultimately puts his orders. I have the general idea, and I think what V was showing is the general idea, you know. And a bunch of us got top ticked into the long yesterday. I almost, if I left my order where I originally had it 2 ticks higher, I would have avoided that and I would have got the short real fast. So, but it just goes to show that, because there's so much, what am I trying to say, volatility at the open, there's so many times where both sides work. I've seen it in my back testing over and over. I mean, I honestly almost feel like you could, I've started kind of playing with it, but if one side triggers fast and then goes to the other side, you can almost play both sides. I think the second side is probably less probability than the first side, but I've seen it happen so many times where both sides works, just like yesterday. Get get the short side that works immediately, and then you get on the long side that worked too. So, but just goes to show you, like, to understand the trade and to trade the trade doesn't mean that you have to be doing it exactly like Alpine as far as his entries go. If you're in the general right area, you'll more likely win than not. And then I just think that a lot of people are being a little bit greedy with it, which I understand. It's like if you see something work so well and it's such a small scalp, 20 ticks, it makes sense that people are like, okay, well, 20 ticks is so small and these moves are often so big. Like maybe I'll go for 40 ticks or maybe I'll go for 60 ticks or like V, he does it the other way. He goes for 15 ticks, but he does more contracts. So, which is fine. But if you run into a day like yesterday, 5 contracts is enough to get your account blown up real fast if it moves against you like it did yesterday. And yesterday it didn't really move that far out of our favor. I mean, we had to suffer a drawdown, but on 2 contracts, I mean, my account was nowhere near being in trouble. Ama says 22 ticks is optional. Oh, you corrected it. Optimal. 22 ticks is optimal, I think. Way to go. Yeah, that's what I'm doing. Alpine is generally around 22 ticks. For some reason, I think he does 21 ticks sometimes, 22 ticks. I don't know. But I've had a lot of success with 22 ticks. So that's what I'm sticking with. Now, I might at some point test out if I could put like an extra contract on for a runner. So that way, once I'm out of the scalp, I still have 1 contract in to go for more. And it's a little bit of a safer play because if it goes against me, then I still have plenty of drawdown to work out of it with only 1 contract being in the play. But that's not tried and tested yet. So I'm just sticking with the basics. So yeah, for me, it's like lower contracts, don't be greedy. All you need is, honestly, $200 a day. And this account is like the reason why I did this. I mean, it's a prime example. I've traded it for 11 days. I'm up $2,478 in 11 days. And, look, 1 more trade. If this was a PA account, 1 more trade and I'd have a payout. So 12 trading days, 2 contracts a day, and you've got a payout. So there's really no reason on Apex to need to go for more because you have to trade 10 days anyways. So you trade 12 days, you got to pay out. And that's the reason why I've only traded that 1 trade on this particular account. I wanted to see if that would happen. So tomorrow will be the day. I'm not a payout yet on that. And obviously it's an evaluation, so I need to get to 3,000 to pass it. But that's the example I'm using for myself. So if I can get a winner tomorrow, then that will be above 52.6, and I'll know 12 days is all it takes. You don't have to do more than that. It's pretty easy. Oh, all right. So it's 9:15. We closed the gap. We've now slipped under the previous day close. There's a whole bunch of levels of support potentially from the previous day here. So who knows if any of these will catch it and we can potentially recover. But on the daily, there's just no telling how far down today can go. We're kind of, once we close the gap, it's just like sometimes the market is done. Once it's filled the gap and it's gone a little bit further, and then it will go the other way. And then other times this will just continue. I almost feel like this could be a thing. If I was looking for a measured move, I might look for something like that. And so if it doesn't get down there, then to me, the market's going to go back up. All right, Saggy's out of here. Saggy, did you get any trades? Any trades today, or just watching and getting a feel for things? Alma says, yeah, I'm thinking the day is on a downtrend. Yeah, feels like it. But this is kind of a critical area. If it can recover above the previous day close, it has a chance to recover. But if it can't get back above here, then it's feeling pretty bearish. Saggy, yeah, you got to trade, or I guess multiple trades, maybe down 120. All right. Sorry, it's a red day, but as you know, better to take your small red day and move on and have a better day tomorrow than to try to get it all back. Trading little size. Yeah, good idea. Alma says Biden approved the $61 billion for Ukraine, so we might see some bulls at the end. I don't know. Yeah, it's always interesting. I mean, it's always interesting how you never know how geopolitics are going to play a role. Sometimes you think something is good news and the market will react well, and then it does the opposite thing. So I actually don't even pay attention to what the news of the day is in terms of world events, because I've seen like crazy bad news happen and then the market tanks, but then just shoots right back up and goes to the high of the day, and you just don't even understand it. So I also saw that there was a bill passed to like either ban TikTok or make them like sell off TikTok or something. That could always have some sort of effect. And it sounds like Biden signed that as well. I think that has like a year to do whatever it's going to do. So who knows how that can affect anything. I think it's interesting though. All right, Saggy. So yeah, sorry for your red day, but come back, get that green day tomorrow, get it back. And good night. Saggy's on the other side of the world in India, so it's nighttime for him. All right, so I'm really chilling here. At this is like between 9 and 9:30 Pacific for me on the West Coast. This is around the time where I start thinking about quitting for the day. And the reason for that is I just found in my experience that my system, where I'm looking for second entries that work on the chart, and I'm looking to trade the charts that just continuously work. It's around this time where if they're going to start picking up losses, this is around the time it happens. So I don't really have a like hard, like, okay, it's 9:30 on the dot, I'm done, or it's 9 on the dot, I'm done. It's just kind of like a general area kind of thing. And so this is kind of in an area where I don't know that I'm going to see a setup I like. I'm going to give it another few minutes and just see and hang out. because if the previous day close does reject, maybe there will be something in it for me around this area. But otherwise, there's just not really a trade I'm looking for here. Actually, I wasn't even paying attention, but this is interesting. There was a first entry, second entry above this that was right off the previous day close. I would have liked that if I was paying more attention. That's a trade I probably would have taken. And I guess I was talking. That's fine. I'm not feeling thirsty for trades anymore. And I think that's the biggest thing for me about the opening trade. I mean, besides it being just so consistently good, is just it makes me feel like I don't need to push hard for trades, because I'm able to take that with multiple accounts, and then whatever trades I get with this system is just like, it's an 80% trade right now every time I take a trade after. So I already got one trade. I missed a second trade. Which chart was that on? Yeah, I missed a trade here. I look, it was here too, first entry. I'm not sure which way this candle broke, so not as clean on this chart. But yeah, I could have had another trade here if I was on my game paying attention. Could have had another trade here. So today could have been a 3-0 day or a 4-0 day. But yeah, it's just not affecting me the way it used to, where when I used to miss a trade, I'd get really frustrated. So it just is opening everything up for me. I'm able to just be a calmer trader. I was already a calm trader, so now I'm even more calm. And well, I really want payouts. I just have this feeling that they're going to come the way I'm doing things now. So I'm just doing it slowly. Once I get the first payout, I think the second payout will come quicker than the first payout came. And then I think the next payout will come even quicker. And then I think I'll hopefully become more consistent with payouts. So, all right. So Saggy said, see ya. He's probably out of here. Amma says, cool. Thanks. Cool. Thanks. I'm glad I got to chat for a little. Yeah, me too. Appreciate it. I'm just going to stick around here for a couple minutes and just make sure there's nothing that comes up. But I'm satisfied with the day, really. There was a time in my trading when I was trading on ES where, I might only get, 2 or 3 trades for the whole week. And I'm coming off a week where I was 17-0, and this week I'm 4-0. It's a little bit of a slower week, but I also missed some time trading and got caught up in chat. So, I'm still on target for more trades than I used to get in a week. And all of my accounts are headed in the right direction. So, just kind of feeling good about things. Happy where I'm at. And definitely happy that I've found this opening trade. It has the potential to be a game changer for me. It really does. So we'll see how that plays out. Since I'm going to be wrapping up soon, I might as well just say it since I haven't said it. For anyone that isn't trading on Apex, they're still running their 80% discount. And the 1-day pass and the half price reset. So that's going until April 30th. And it's a good time to get the discount. I mean, it's always weird when the discount is coming to an end with Apex because you never really know what they're going to do next. I mean, they're pretty shifty about it. This 80% has been going on for over a month now. It's got to be close to 2 months straight of 80% discount. And then the 80% discount, if I remember correctly, came right on the back of a 90% discount that they ran for like a very short amount of time. It was like 5 days or something. They did a 90% discount, then they did the 80% discount. The 80% discount was only supposed to be like a week and a half or something. And then next thing you knew, it was for the whole month of April. So typically, the way Apex is doing things now, the 80% discount is the best discount that they offer for the majority of the year. their default discount used to be 50%, 50. And sometime last year they shifted to 71%, and that's become their like base discount. Which basically, you know, if you look at it, the 90% discount makes the 50K account like $16.70. When it goes to 80%, it doubles that price and it makes it $33.40, I believe. And then when it goes to 71%, it now 3 times the price of the 90%. And it goes to like 40, I think it's $46 or $47, something like that. So you can see it's like when it's 90% and it goes to 80%, it means that they're doubling the price of the valuation. And then when it goes from 80% to 71%, you know, it's like the 90% price is tacked on to the 80% price. So you could just kind of see how it works. I mean, they're all cheap when you think about it. Like whether you're paying $47, $33, or $16, they're all cheap. But if you're buying accounts in bulk, then it really adds up fast. You know, that extra $30 at the 71% can be, you know, extra $600 for 20 accounts. So I always just say the 80% is like the best like standard discount that they offer, and it's the majority of the year. And then I've never personally bought a account when it was 71%. I just don't see a reason to. I either usually have accounts that are going to reset and renew, or renew, or I have enough accounts and I just don't need them and I'll wait for an 80%. And then when it's 90%, that's like the ultimate best time to get a discount, but they don't offer the 90% very often. Like so far this year, they offered it once and it was like, I'm pretty sure it was like only 5 days. So here we are towards the end of April and there's only been 5 days of the 90% discount. So it's not really worth hanging out and not buying accounts just for that reason. So hold on 1 second here. Anyway, so I don't really ever try to hold out to buy accounts for the 90% because you just don't know when it's going to come. Like last year, I remember thinking they were going to do 90% for July 4th, and then they didn't do anything. It was 71%. It was like their like base level lowest price, and so you just don't really know when they're going to do it. And they said they're going to do it way less than they were doing it last year, because last year they did it a lot. So really, most of the year, the 80% is the best discount you're going to find. And if you get lucky and need accounts at the right time, maybe you can get the 90%. But if you hold out, you might only get the 71% offer. So 80% is a pretty good time to do it. Let me look at the chat here. Oh, Halo Eraser, how are you? Welcome to the chat. I was just getting ready to finish my day here. Halo says, I assume it's going to be 71% and then $35 resets. $36 is the max I'll pay for an eval. Yeah. I'm actually with you. I think it makes sense that after this one that, you know, they've been running this 80% for approximately like a month and a half altogether. It makes sense. They haven't done the 71% in a long time. The 90% was right before the 80%. It just kind of makes sense that they'll probably do 71%. And then what do we got? We've got May coming up. So we've got, what is that, Memorial Day? And so maybe around Memorial time, they go back to like 80%, or maybe that's when they possibly do a 90%. But I agree. I don't personally ever recommend buying for any discount other than 80% or 90%. So yeah, Halo Eraser says, yeah, people have excess accounts. Yeah, for sure. So yeah, there's been a couple of you, I guess, that have used my code a couple times. So I appreciate that, and thank you to whoever that is that has used it. I always just say, you know, I appreciate if you use my code, but if you have someone else's code and you rather use theirs, I'm all for it. All I say is make sure you use the code and make sure that you're getting the best discount being offered at the time. There's zero reason to ever pay full price. And, you know, I've been on Apex for a year and I've never paid more than 80% discount price. So that's what I recommend, 80% or better. Halo says a $35 reset makes sense from a business perspective. Yeah, I agree. Unless, you know, the only thing to understand about resets for anyone that doesn't know, if you happen to be listening and not well versed in Apex accounts, if you already have an evaluation and you blow it up and you only have a few days left or like a week left until the account's going to renew and reset, then it's probably not worth resetting it for the $35 because you only have the time to pass it until the original monthly subscription renewal. So if your account's going to renew in a week and you blow it up, that means if you reset it, you only have that week to pass it, or you're going to get hit with the monthly fee again. I mean, you can continue to trade it and it doesn't matter. Nothing happens to the account. You just continue to trade it normal. But now you're paying the $35 reset in that case, plus another $30 for another month. Yeah, exactly. Halo says, yes, resets do not reset the date. Do not reset if the renewal date is near for the account. Exactly. In capital shouting, don't reset it if it's close. A lot of people, I don't think, understand that. This was interesting. I was watching this while I was talking here. There was a second entry right off of the previous day close. It was just kind of stacked up. There wasn't a lot of room to the lows, and I just decided it's already 9:30. I was just not going to take another trade today. I'm done trading for the day. So, but interesting, it worked. And no objective reason to stay out of that trade other than me just deciding I'm not going to trade anymore today. So just wanted to mention that. But yeah, Halo Eraser says, yeah, a lot of people don't understand the reset, and that a lot of people, they think, oh, $35 to reset, it's a great price. They reset it and they only had a couple days left before their account was going to renew and reset anyway. And then they get hit with another charge and they go on to Apex's Discord and complain about it. And it's like, dude, just read the website, read the rules. Like, it's all right there. Anyway, so what I was saying was I do appreciate everyone or anyone that has used the code. As I've said, I've never received a payout yet, so I'm still looking for my first payout. And so all of my fees have been self-funded, and I'm obviously in for a little over $2,000 at this point. So even the couple limited kickbacks I've gotten from a couple accounts being bought with my code, it helps and I appreciate it. So other than that, I do stream every day, starting at 10 Eastern. And, Alpine is streaming his opening trade now. He's just not putting his orders on the screen. So I don't know, maybe at some point I'll do that. I'm like so out of it when I crawl into this room and start trading for the New York Open. My eyes are half shut and my, it's like I could barely open my mouth. I'm not even sure my voice would come out of me at that time of the morning if I start my live stream at that time. But maybe it's something I'll do. I mean, I do like having all of my trades on stream. And even though I wouldn't be showing the order positions like he doesn't, it'd be nice to just have it being recorded. The only other thing though is I'm not sure how I would do it because I like to have that trade recorded like on the screen as well. So if I'm not showing it on YouTube, then I kind of have to like set up a second chart to record. So I don't know. It's a little weird. I'll have to figure out what I'm going to do. But for now, I'm just going to stick with the live stream at 10. I think if you want to see the open trade, and if I was going to be doing it like Alpine, where I'm not showing the orders, like you might as well just go to Alpine's channel, honestly, and watch his channel for the open trade, because you know, he's the man. He's the reason why I trade it. And I have no doubt he trades it better than me. I'm 11-0, but I'm only 11-0. You know what I mean? I mean, he's been trading it for months. So I think he's had a total of 3 days where he's lost and lost accounts. And one of those days, he didn't lose all of his accounts. He only just lost a handful of them, and he won on the other accounts. So it was just a drawdown issue. And that was Monday, I think, this week. So yeah, I would just say go watch Alpine for the open trade at Market Open, and then if you're interested in what I'm up to, come over and check me out at 10 Eastern. And then obviously I'll be doing this the rest of the day when I'm streaming after 10 Eastern. So today, just the one trade on the BS system. Got my 11 ticks on PA7. That's the account that's just, you know, I'm trying to dig it out of its grave. So I've now got 556. I've now got 700 in drawdown. This account was down to like, I think it was a little less than 200 drawdown at the lowest point. And I'm just one trade at a time, like $50 at a time, trying to get it out of the hole. So with 700 drawdown, I'll probably stick with one contract on it still for at least a couple more trades. And I think when I get to like 800 or 850 in drawdown, that's when I'll go to 2 contracts on it and really try to bring it back. Amma says, yeah, no need to show it live. A chat after the fact is fine. Cool. Yeah. All right. I'm glad you're on board with that. I know that you're interested in the open trade. So if that makes sense for you, then it makes sense for me too. Because again, you know, this channel isn't really about that open trade. Like, it just happens to be something that I found to be working for me now that I'm trying it. But I'm not doing this, you know, because of the open trade. That's just a added benefit to my trading to hopefully help me get me profitable. But yeah, I have no problem coming on stream and talking about it after the fact, and showing obviously where I got in and out and whatnot. And I'll do it in the review video as well. So I'll cover it there. So whichever way you catch it, that's cool. And anything else to say? Not really. Just come by, check out the review video. I'll record that next and get it up pretty soon here. And then, yeah, 2-0 for the day, 4-0 for the week, 198 wins and 45 losses for the year 2024. So I'm still at 81%, but I'm literally one win away from that turning into 82%. So we'll see if that happens tomorrow. And then 11-0, 11 days in a row with winners on the Alp Orb. And we'll see if I can make it 12-0. Like I said earlier, the 12-0, if this was a PA account, and this is the only account where I've traded only the Alp Orb on every trade on the account, that would have qualified it for a payout next trade if it were a PA account. So still just over $500 away from passing this account with only using the open trade. And 350-ish here, 500 away here. What are we, 650 about there? And then as far as the payout, getting closer, 670 away. So just keep including this on the open. I don't know, I think the last 3 or 4 trades I've taken on the open with this account. So just seeing if I can get this to a payout, just taking that one trade a day whenever that happens. I think if I win every single day and to get to the payout qualifier, 2,600, what is it, 2,600, 600? Or sorry, 26,600. I think that will be the last day of the next payout window. If I win every day, that will qualify me for a payout. So it will be interesting to see if I can continue the streak and get there before a loss comes. Because I know a loss will come at some point, but the numbers, the data says it won't be for a long time. The odds are. So we'll see. All right. I think I've said it all. check out the live stream tomorrow. Thanks for coming by. Appreciate the likes and subscribers. Seems like I'm definitely getting some more views lately and some more subscribers. So I really appreciate everyone that's coming by and checking it out, and definitely appreciate everyone that says hey in the chat and has conversation with me. Just really kind of enjoying what's happening here on the channel, and it helps that I've been winning, I guess. So hopefully I'll continue that, and we'll see where I get to. Hopefully you'll see a positive trajectory in my journey, but there's always the possibility of a crash and burn. So if that happens, that's always interesting too. But if you really want to see a crash and burn, just go back to my videos for the end of December, maybe leading up to the end of December, and you can see the crash and burn there, and then that way I don't have to repeat that again, and hopefully this will be the success story coming up. So, all right, thanks again, everybody. I really appreciate everyone that comes by and checks me out, and I hope you had a good trading day, good trading week, and we'll be back tomorrow.